Shalom. Thanks for joining me. I'm going to read Deuteronomy chapter 17. Again, remember, this is Moses reciting the history and the laws of Israel before he dies. They are standing on the plains of Moab. This is on the eastern shore of the Jordan River. And after Moses recites all these laws and all this history, he's going to climb Mount Pisgah. There he's going to die. God will bury him. And then Joshua will take the lead, and they will cross over the Jordan River onto the western bank, and they will begin the conquest of the Promised Land. So these are these final moments of the life of Moses as he's giving these final words. Let's join Moses, chapter 17, verse 1. Let's hear what he is saying. You're not to sacrifice to Adonai your God a cow or sheep that has a defect or anything wrong with it. That would be an abomination to Adonai your God. If there is found among you, within any of your gates, in any city that Adonai your God gives you, a man or woman who does what Adonai your God sees as wicked, transgressing his covenant by going and serving other gods and worshiping them, the sun, the moon, or anything in the sky, something I have forbidden, and it is told you, or you hear about it, then you are to investigate the matter diligently. If it is true, if it is confirmed that such detestable things are being done in Israel, then you are to bring the man or woman who has done this wicked thing to your city gates and stone that man or woman to death. The death sentence is to be carried out only if there was testimony from 2 or 3 witnesses. He may not be sentenced to death on the testimony of only one witness. The witnesses are to be the first to stone him to death. Afterwards, all the people are to stone him. Thus you will put an end to this wickedness among you. The death penalty for worshiping another god in any form, astrology, necromancy, spiritist mediums, all of that stuff, fortune telling, tarot cards, voodoo, black magic, witchcraft, sorcery, you name it. You name it. In those days, that was a death penalty. And you couldn't just kill them because you saw it. It has to be 2 to 3 witnesses to confirm that. And then you could have the death penalty. But notice this, that puts an end to the wickedness. Verse 8, if a case comes before you at your city gate, which is too difficult for you to judge, concerning bloodshed, civil suit, personal injury, or any other controversial issue, you are to get up and go to the place which Adonai your God will choose. Now, they're talking about going to the tabernacle, wherever the tabernacle is going to be placed in Israel at that time. So you go to your city gate, you go to your regular judges, your magistrates, and if that case is too complex, then you take it to the tabernacle where the high priest of God is. So you are bringing this case to God. This is the ultimate judge. Okay? This is one of the reasons why our legal system in the United States is set up the way it is. We have a Supreme Court that represents going to the highest court there is in the land. And that's the same principle here. Okay? All right. So it's in verse 9, and appear before the Kohanim, that's the high priest, the high priest, all of them. You who are the high priest, Kohanim, who are leaving, and the judge in office at the time. Seek their opinion, and they will render a verdict for you. Verse 10, you will then act according to what they have told you there in that place which Adonai will choose. You are to take care to act according to all their instructions, in accordance with the Torah they teach you. You are to carry out the judgment they render, not turning aside to the right or to the left from the verdict they declare to you. Anyone presumptuous enough not to pay attention to the Kohen appointed there to serve Adonai your God or to the judge, that person must die. Thus you will exterminate such wickedness from Israel. All the people will hear about it and be afraid to continue acting presumptuously. In other words, once the final verdict is issued, you follow it. If you don't, Well, there you go. Verse 14. When you have entered the land Adonai your God has given you, you have taken possession of it and are living there, you may say, I want to have a king over me, like all the other nations around me. In that event, you must appoint as king the one whom Adonai your God will choose. He must be one of your kinsmen. This king you appoint over you. You are forbidden to appoint a foreigner over you who is not your kinsman. However, he is not to acquire many horses for himself, or have the people return to Egypt to obtain more horses, inasmuch as Adonai told you never to go back that way again. Likewise, he is not to acquire many wives for himself, so that his heart will not turn away, and he is not to acquire excessive quantities of silver and gold. When he has come to occupy the throne of his kingdom, he is to write a copy of this Torah for himself in a scroll from the one the Kohanim and the Leviim use. It is to remain with him, and he is to read it every day as long as he lives, so that he will learn to fear Adonai his God and keep all the words of this Torah and these laws and obey them, so that he will not think he is better than his kinsmen, and so that he will not turn aside either to the right or to the left from the mitzvah. In this way he will prolong his own reign and that of his children in Israel. It is interesting because later in 1 Samuel, the people come to the prophet Samuel, who is now the Kohanim. He is the high priest. And they say to him, give us a king like all the other nations around us. Yes, here is God telling you, this is going to happen. You're going to want a king. But man, let me tell you what, there are some rules, there are some restrictions. And Samuel tells them in 1 Samuel, this is what your king is going to do. You better know that if you get a king, this is what it's going to look like. And that king violated every single one of these standards. Every one of them. The first king was Saul. Shaul in his Hebrew name. King Saul. First king. And he did every single thing you're not supposed to do here. And later, the third king of Israel, Solomon. By the way, his Hebrew name is Shlomo. King Solomon had 700 wives and 300 concubines. And the book of 2 Samuel says, and they turned his heart away from Yahweh. What is the warning that is given here about having excessive wives? They will turn your heart away from me. Here is Moses, knowing what's to come. And it did. This is why Moses is a very unique prophet. Maybe we should pay attention to the fact that God knows the future. And when he tells us, we should pay attention.